I'm 23-year-old female, getting married in a couple of days. Most of this is in the last 2 weeks. My maid of honour, 26-year-old female M, was in charge of planning my bachelorette party, which I wanted to be a surprise. We live in a city, but none of us live downtown, so I was hoping for a hotel room downtown and having a fun night out with friends, maybe a brunch. Most of the bridal party live locally, but 2 girls flew in for it. When M picked me up 2 weeks ago on Friday, I was excited to see where we were going and what we were doing. We ended up going to M's 1-bedroom townhome and spent the whole weekend there. There were 8 of us, so it was cramped and we kept running into issues with only 1 bathroom. On Friday night we had games and ordered pizza. Saturday we had a mimosa bar, went shopping, ordered food and watched a movie before parting ways on Sunday. It wasn't the bachelorette party of my dreams or a particularly fun weekend, but it was okay and I appreciated it. Last weekend my fiancé, 32-year-old male Jay, had just returned from a work trip. I hadn't caught him up to speed on the party because there wasn't much to report. But when he returned we were chatting and I told him about the party. He looked confused but said nothing else that evening. The next day I got a message from M asking to meet up to talk about something. M revealed that Jay had given her a significant amount of money over a year ago, with the intention that it was used to pay for a bachelorette party. It would have been enough to pay for the entire bridal party, to do a week-long vacation out of town, including airfare, hotel, food, drinks and fun. I wasn't expecting this type of event. A weekend downtown would have been wonderful, and even though the party at her home wasn't what I hoped for, I was fine with it because I got to be with all of my friends. She instead used the money to pay off credit card debt and hoped that no one would notice. I told her I needed some time to process and went home. After talking with Jay about it, I decided that the best action would be to remove her from the wedding. I came to this decision because I don't feel I can trust her and don't want her to be standing next to me at my wedding. I slept on it overnight and sent her a text saying this on Monday. Since then, I have been getting texts from her mum and boyfriend telling me how awful I am for doing this since I didn't need a big party, and M was able to financially benefit. My mum is also against removing her from the wedding, as she's like a sister to our family and it would be tragic for me to get married without M there. The rest of the bridal party is split, with half saying I shouldn't have kicked her out, and the other half agreeing with me. M has called me crying because she already has her dress, Jay and I paid for all dresses, and she can't wear it anywhere else. At this point I want the wedding to be over with, so I can be on my honeymoon and not have to deal with these people. So was my action too extreme? Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot, except maybe a little to yourself. Your maid of honour steals a substantial sum from your fiancé and by doing so steals a once-in-a-lifetime experience from you. You don't even consider insisting she pay the money back, let alone take legal action. You just accept it. When confronted with her theft, you leave saying you need time to process. You don't show your anger or make her experience the impact this news has on you, the distress she has caused you. You just accept it. You even let M keep the dress you paid for, that she has the temerity to moan about. People she is close to text you about how awful you are. Rather than clarifying the amount she stole, how it has affected your wedding and advocating for yourself, you just accept it. People you are close to know she stole from you, and instead of recognizing the impact on you, advocate for her because she is upset. You accept this. Your own mother encourages you to ignore the situation because she cares for M, prioritizing her over you. You accept this. What's stopping you from being more compassionate to yourself, OP? Why are you allowing people to treat you this way instead of addressing it? Why do your friends and family get away with treating you with total disregard? Comment 2. OMG. Not the idiot. She stole from your fiancé and lied to you, and on top of all that she's crying because she can't wear the dress you paid for anywhere else? Poor little felon. Depending on how much he gave her, she probably committed a felony, as in some states the threshold is $1,000. Her mother should be calling to apologize to you for raising a selfish liar as well as criminal. Ultimately, it's up to you on who you want in your wedding. Long-term best friends often get a pass that other friends don't, but bottom line, your friend is crying and playing the victim because she got caught. I'm so sorry for this. Comment 3, not the idiot. She stole money from you and it sounds like it was a decent chunk of money too. I would honestly have a stern talking to with your mum and maybe cut off people that are taking her side. This is ridiculous that anyone wouldn't immediately be on your side after she misappropriated money meant for your bachelorette. She also obviously knew it was wrong because she told you out of guilt. ETA, stealing $25,000 is insane. put her on blast to everyone and file a police report. She also only told you because she was pressured. Cut contact and let the law handle it at this point. Now, for the update. Well, I've always heard that the first month of marriage is supposed to be the honeymoon period, but that couldn't be further from the truth for us. The wedding went off without a hitch, and we had a beautiful ceremony and reception. But the drama from the bachelorette party incident didn't stop there. M's mum and boyfriend continued to harass me about it, and even showed up at the wedding uninvited. We had to have them removed, which disrupted the ceremony and caused even more stress. After we returned from our honeymoon, we found out that M had been spreading rumours about me being a bridezilla, and now even more of our mutual friends are siding with her. She's also been spreading lies about my husband, saying that he was cheating on me during our engagement and that he's not the man I think he is. To top it all off, my husband lost his job last week. He'd been working for a startup and they had to make some cuts to stay afloat. We'd been relying on his income to pay for the majority of our bills, and now we're scrambling to figure out how to make ends meet. He's been job hunting like crazy, but hasn't had any luck yet. So now I'm dealing with financial stress, a ruined reputation among my friends, and constant harassment from Em and her family. I feel like my life has completely fallen apart in just 1 month. I'm scared for what the future holds, and I feel so alone in all of this. I feel like I can't trust anyone anymore. I just wanted to have a beautiful wedding and start a happy life with my husband, but now everything is a mess. I don't know what to do. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. This is a clear case of someone trying to stir up drama and stress in your life at a time when you should be celebrating and enjoying the start of a new chapter. Em and her family have absolutely crossed the line by showing up uninvited to your wedding and spreading malicious rumours about you and your husband. I understand that you must be feeling overwhelmed and alone, but it's important to remember that their actions speak volumes about their character and not yours. It seems like a good time to re-evaluate whether or not Em is someone you want in your life moving forward. As for your husband losing his job, that's a tough situation, but it's something you can overcome together. It's a rough patch, not a life sentence. Seek out resources and support where you can, and remember to communicate openly and honestly with each other. Comment 2. Not the idiot. This situation is incredibly stressful, and it's completely understandable that you feel overwhelmed. Em's behaviour throughout your wedding and after is disrespectful and uncalled for. The accusations she's spreading about your husband are serious and damaging. It might be worth considering legal action if these rumours continue to circulate and cause harm. Concerning your husband's job loss, it's essential to approach this problem as a team. Financial stress can strain a relationship, so consider seeking financial advice or support to help you navigate this period. Remember, it's okay to set boundaries with people who are causing you harm, even if they are long-time friends. Comment 3. Not the idiot. The actions of Em and her family are quite frankly shocking and appalling. This is supposed to be a special time in your life, and it's a shame that they've decided to tarnish it with their negative behaviour. You have every right to feel upset and stressed, but remember this isn't a reflection on you or your husband. The rumours being spread about your husband are serious and should be addressed head-on. It might be beneficial to have a straightforward conversation with Em about her actions and the impact they're having on you. As for your husband losing his job, it's unfortunate, but together you can weather this storm. It might be a good time to re-evaluate your budget and expenses and see where you can make adjustments until he finds a new job. Remember, you're not alone in this, and it's okay to reach out to others for support. Now for the next story. My husband and I are expecting our first baby in a few months, and my sister-in-law offered to throw us a baby shower. I was really in love with the idea and accepted, and then my mother-in-law got involved. But my sister-in-law disrespected the one clear boundary regarding the baby shower that I had, and she refuses to let it go despite being told by not only me, but also my mother-in-law and my husband. She insisted that my half-siblings should be invited, as well as finding biological family from both sides and inviting them. This is absolutely not something I want. I did not invite them to my wedding, and I have not seen or spoken to them in several years, but she's going extremely hard on the but family argument. Background: I'm a child from an affair. My father cheated on his wife and I was the result. His wife kicked him out, and he and my mother stayed together. I was born, but they did not take care of me, and when I was 3, I was removed from their care by CPS. None of my biological family wanted me. My mother's family were supposedly good Christians who couldn't stand the thought of an illegitimate affair child, and my father's family were not in a position to take care of such a young child. My father's ex-wife ended up taking me. I'm not sure why. The fact that she was paid to take care of me was possibly the reason. What I do know is that I was not loved. My half-siblings ranged from 11 to 17 at the time, and they all hated me. It was made perfectly clear to me from a young age that I was never to call her mum, and I was never to call them my brothers and sisters. My father's family was still in their lives and knew how I was treated, and they wouldn't even report it to my caseworker. I mentioned it once or twice, but I think she found it easier to dismiss a child's words. My childhood was miserable, and I was seen as a burden and as someone who should never have been born. My half-siblings continued visiting their mum as adults, and they all made it clear they couldn't stand me and were disgusted by my presence. I just left when I was 16, and nobody ever reported me missing or came looking for me. My sister-in-law knows my background, and she knows that I would never want them in my life again. But despite that, she continues to push, and I spoke to my mother-in-law about it. She tried to take over more, but my sister-in-law insisted that she had offered first. When she brought it up again, I told her to cancel the shower, and I would rather have no shower than one thrown by her when she can't respect my boundaries. My mother-in-law stepped in and is now hosting one, but my sister-in-law is angry because she spent a while planning and had already paid for some stuff. My mother-in-law said she'd give her the money back, but my sister-in-law said I was in the wrong, and I should appreciate her for wanting to give me back my family. I told her I had no family until I met them, and she needs to accept that my blood relatives do not want me, and I do not want them. I know she keeps telling my husband how wrong I was, and he keeps defending me, but I feel bad about the tension now. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot at all. However, because I can tell how deeply you care for her, you can try another approach. Sil. I know you can't imagine not being surrounded by family and love at this exciting time and want to give me this gift. Unfortunately, that isn't my reality, and even the magic of a baby can't transform things. You need to understand and respect this, because I can't accept this stress or negativity into my pregnancy or child's life. You've been told this clearly by everyone. Respect it. You need to think about why this is so important to you, and why you think that is more important than my boundaries. Comment 2. Your sister-in-law was disrespectful as F. Not the idiot of EC. She said I was in the wrong and I should appreciate her for wanting to give me back my family. You should keep an eye on your mother-in-law as well, because this is overstepping too. I personally wouldn't trust people with not enough self-awareness to understand family is not an excuse for SHTTT behaviours. Comment 3. I'm really sorry, OP, but people who come from decent families can have absolutely no clue what it's like to come from a really bad one. I don't talk about my own very bad family among normal, respectable people because they just aren't going to understand, and there's good odds that they wouldn't even believe the truth. Now for the update. 1 month has passed since the debacle with my sister-in-law and the baby shower drama. You'd think things would have calmed down by now, but the fallout from the whole situation has spiraled beyond what I could have imagined. As planned, my mother-in-law took over the hosting duties for the baby shower, and it was an intimate and joyous event. However, the evening was not without its heartaches. My sister-in-law, still upset over what transpired, refused to attend. This caused quite a bit of tension and discomfort among the family who did attend, especially my husband. It was supposed to be a celebration of our upcoming arrival, but the absence of his sister and the underlying tension cast a shadow on the day. The rest of the month followed a similar pattern. My sister-in-law has made her displeasure known not just to us, but to our entire extended family and her friends. She's been turning anyone who would listen against us, painting us as the villains and herself as the victim of our unreasonable expectations. This has taken a toll on my husband and me, causing unwanted stress during what is supposed to be a joyful period of anticipation. The real heartbreak, however, occurred when we found out my sister-in-law had taken it upon herself to contact my biological family, the same people I'd been trying to avoid. She sent them photos from the baby shower, told them about the baby, and even shared my contact information. This was a violation of my boundaries on a level I'd never anticipated. This has resulted in countless awkward messages and phone calls from family members I've spent years trying to distance myself from. They've been trying to insert themselves into my life and the life of my unborn child, causing me immense stress and anxiety. I feel like my past is catching up with me, and it's completely overwhelming. My husband has been a rock through all of this, but I can see the strain it's putting on him too. His relationship with his sister is fractured, and he's been left in the uncomfortable position of having to mediate between us. The worst part is the guilt I feel. I can't help but wonder if I'm the one who's ruined everything. Did I overreact? Should I have just let my sister-in-law invite those people? There's a part of me that can't help but feel responsible for the family drama that's been stirred up, and I'm racked with guilt over causing my husband to be stuck in the middle. This was supposed to be a time of joy, and instead it's turned into a period of stress and heartache, all because I wanted to celebrate our baby's arrival without being reminded of a painful past I've tried so hard to leave behind. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It's clear that your sister-in-law is crossing boundaries by involving your biological family in her drama. It is not her place to initiate contact with them, especially if it's unwanted. It seems like she's doing this out of spite, or to create further tension in an already tense situation. Your feelings of being overwhelmed are valid, and you should not feel guilty for a situation that you did not start. Your husband, being stuck in the middle, should ideally step up and set boundaries with his sister to protect your peace and mental health during this stressful time. Comment 2. Not the idiot. From the way you've narrated the story, it seems like your sister-in-law is the one stirring up drama and causing unnecessary stress during what should be a happy time for you and your husband. It's important to remember that you're not responsible for her actions or the way they're affecting your family. This is a time when you should be focusing on yourself and the upcoming arrival of your baby, not dealing with unnecessary family drama. Your husband needs to step in and address this with his sister. You're not the cause of this drama, and it's unfair for you to carry the burden of guilt. Comment 3. Not the idiot. The fact that your sister-in-law took it upon herself to contact your biological family clearly shows a lack of respect for your privacy and boundaries. This is a major overstep, and it's completely reasonable for you to be upset about it. It's also not your responsibility to manage her behavior or the fallout from it. You should be able to enjoy this time in your life, not be stressed out by family drama. Your husband should communicate with his sister and make it clear that her behavior is not acceptable. You should not feel guilty for this situation. It's not your fault. Now, for the next story. So my father and his wife are unable to have children together. He has me, 16-year-old male, from his marriage to my mum, which ended because he cheated on her with his now wife. The affair was found out when I was 7, and my mum left him right after. I split time with both of them, unfortunately, which meant I was around my father and his wife a lot, and she tried to be a second mum to me, which I think was terrible. After she knowingly slept with a married man, she was dating his best friend at the time too. My mum died when I was 12. Then I had to live with my father and his wife and had no escape from them. They tried to make me forgive them / let go of what happened, and they did a bunch of therapy with me, but I always told him I would stop speaking to him as soon as I turned 18. They found out 3 years ago that they could not have kids together, and almost 2 years ago started the process to adopt a baby from foster care. During the process, I was interviewed. This was in February of this year. I was asked questions about my relationship with my parents, which I corrected and told them she was not my parent, and he was only because of blood. Then asked how I would feel about a sibling, and I told them I would have nothing to do with one, and was planning to move and never speak to my father again once I turn 18. The social worker looked kind of alarmed by that. She asked me about my father's family, and I said they disowned him after he cheated, and so did all of his friends. Soon after the interviews were done, they were rejected and told they could not provide a suitable environment for a child. My father's wife fell apart. I heard her say Mum must have been cursing her from beyond the grave. She's really religious and does believe people can send good or bad luck from beyond the grave. She's still not over the news, and a few weeks ago my father was telling me I should take pity on her and at least be friendly to her. I asked why I'd do that, and he said her dream of motherhood is over. I told him I didn't care. He asked me if I had something to do with that. I shrugged. He then went off on me, saying it was cruel to punish them this long. He said they could have provided a child with so much love, and it was wrong to say things that got in the way of that. She sobbed for a week when he told her. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. As far as I understand, you answered all the questions honestly. Yes, your answers were a part of what made the social worker decide these two people have already failed as parents, which they clearly have. Look at the results. You've been living with them exclusively for 4 years, and there were, 5 years of you spending a lot of time with them before then? If in that time they, two grown adults, didn't manage to smooth things out and give you reasons to love them, trust them, or at least want to keep in contact with them after you turn 18, there's no guarantee they would do better with an adopted child. Answering the questions truthfully doesn't make you the reason this happened. You simply delivered the information. I'm sorry that your childhood and teenage years turned out like this. While I don't discount the possibility that you're contributing to the difficulties in your relationship with your father and his wife, you've been a child all this time, and they're the adults in this situation. I hope that you'll be able to have a good adult life in the future, and that you'll find an environment where you'll feel genuinely loved and accepted. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You gave honest answers to the social worker. Good on you. I wish crappy parents were required to get input from their current children before breeding more children. In all seriousness, I do not believe your interview is why their application was denied, given the high rate of children that need homes. Regarding the cheating, they say you lose them the way you got them. Your biological father's current wife is in for a big surprise when he cheats again, and it has nothing to do with beyond the grave. Info. How did your mum pass? Comment 3. Not the idiot. You were asked questions and you answered them honestly. As long as there were no lies, then you did nothing wrong. It amazes me the amount of people that break up a home, move in, marry an affair partner, and then are all shocked that their kids aren't happy about it and resent the parent for it. Also sorry about your mother. Now for the update. A month's passed since Dad and stepmum's adoption was axed. Living in this house has been hell on earth. Dad took to the bottle, an old friend he'd abandoned when he first met stepmum. He's always reeked of whiskey these days, barely able to keep his job. His once cheerful demeanour is now replaced by a stony silence that's occasionally broken by a drunken rant about me, about Mum, about everything. Stepmum, on the other hand, has gone off the deep end with her religious fervour. She's convinced herself that she's being punished by God, holding exorcisms in our living room and inviting religious leaders over to cleanse the house. Her prayers echo through the house at all hours of the day, and she's taken to fasting as a form of repentance. I think she's lost about 15 pounds already. She barely eats, and her once vibrant eyes are now clouded with a manic desperation. The tension in the house finally snapped last week. Dad, in a drunken rage, tried to kick me out, blaming me for ruining his life. He said he wished he'd stayed with Mum, that he regretted ever meeting stepmum. She watched on, eyes wide and red-rimmed, clutching her rosary so tightly I thought it would snap. I didn't fight him. I just packed a bag and left. I've been crashing at a friend's place since then. It's not ideal, but it's better than the toxic war zone that my old home has become. I've been looking for a job, hoping to save up enough to rent a small place of my own. I'm still planning to cut off contact with Dad once I turn 18, but I worry about the state he's in. I worry about them both, and even though I know I didn't cause this, I can't help but feel a pang of guilt. Maybe I did sabotage that adoption. Maybe I did contribute to their downfall, but then I remember the pain they caused Mum, the way they ripped our family apart, and I can't help but feel they deserved it. Anyway, that's the update. I don't know what life has in store for me next, but I hope it's better than this. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It's an unfortunate situation all around, but ultimately you need to put your mental and emotional health first. It's clear that your dad and stepmum are dealing with their own issues, but that doesn't give them the right to take it out on you, or blame you for circumstances beyond your control. The adoption falling through is not your fault. Their reactions and subsequent choices are their own responsibility. Also, it's important to remember that you're not responsible for your parents' happiness or life fulfillment. It's commendable that you're taking steps to ensure your well-being and stability by finding a job and seeking a more peaceful living situation. You're not the villain here. Comment 2. Not the idiot. The environment you're currently living in is toxic, and it's affecting your mental health. It's clear that your dad and stepmum are projecting their frustrations and disappointments onto you, which is not fair at all. Their coping mechanisms, alcoholism and extreme religiosity, are destructive, not only to them, but also to those around them. It's completely justified for you to remove yourself from such a situation. Furthermore, your feelings of guilt are understandable, but remember, you're not abandoning them. You're protecting yourself. It's important to set boundaries even with family members. Comment 3. Not the idiot. You're not to blame for the struggles your dad and stepmum are going through. They've chosen their coping methods, and unfortunately they're ones that have caused further harm to themselves and those around them. You have every right to distance yourself from a situation that is causing you unnecessary stress and harm. It's important to prioritize your own mental and emotional health, and if that means cutting ties and building a better future for yourself, then so be it. You're not responsible for fixing their life. They need professional help. Your guilt is understandable, but remember, self-preservation is paramount. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day!